YouTube? Broder here, we're back again. My new series I'm gonna start doing here, or I'm gonna start doing making builds for teams or concepts in twos or threes. Just some days I might just have an idea, make a cool build for y'all. I got a lot of friends and stuff that every year the game comes out, all throughout the year they have me make builds for them. I got a lot of teams that hit me up for comp, 5-man runs. So I just had an idea. I'm gonna start doing these videos and see if they catch on. Today I'm just gonna run a pick and roll concept here for a 5 stack. So this is for 5, so same for you. Stick around. Check out the next video. That's gonna have some threes and twos concepts in it. But this one we're gonna start with the guard here. I'm not really big on the big guards, man. I like my guards be able to do a little bit of everything. So I usually run like 6'2", maybe 6'3". We'll just go with this build, 6'3", 5. So we'll get the 88 driving dunk because we want to get to a 93 with the cap breakers. That's the most important thing. Gotta think about the cap breakers, right? So then what we do now, we get the 93 3-ball. We get to 96 with the cap breakers. Gotta go free throw position for 5s, right? So we toss it at 85. Gonna do the same thing here. We gotta be able to pass, but it's a pick and roll, so we don't gotta be able to pass that crazy. But I think bare minimum. My bad for having the badges. I'll go back through and show y'all what that is again. But 85 pass sack. I think you need bail out, especially on the pick and roll. You never know, get crazy back end or a center catches up to that guard. You know what I mean? We gotta be able to take it out of a layup or a jumper. Sometimes it's just how it is. Can't always be taking the right takes as a guard here. I don't go big on agility because I just don't think you really need it. Because we want that 93 dunk, I'm just gonna go 80 vertical right off rip here. And then it's not much defense, but again, it's a guard off a pick and roll. He's just gonna be in the corner. Hopefully, we get some lane steals. I might actually, I might bump this down to a 75 steal for this one. Try and get that steal up to like a 60. At least we get interceptor bronze to start. And we want cap breakers on this steal. I'm gonna check it out in a minute here. Show y'all what I'm thinking with this build. I'll show the cap breakers too. I'll load into each build, show you what it could do with cap breakers and all that. But this is what I would do for pick and roll guard. He can shoot, he can slash, a good ball handle. He can pass. Some people this ain't for everybody. Again, some pick and roll guards play different ways. But I'll have there'll be other builds. There'll be other videos with different types of concepts. But this is just for an all around pick and roll guard. So. Not much defense. All you need to do is send a guy in the corner, get some steals hopefully, and that's what we're hoping to do. Inside out high flying slasher. That's the kind of build I'd play on a pick and roll. Now that we're in here, we're gonna look at what this build looks like in the city. We can upgrade it again. So we'll get to that 90. What was I saying there? 93 driving dunk pretty quick. 2 cap breakers for that. The 3-ball, I wouldn't really go. That'd be like something I upgrade later in the year with more cap breakers, man. I think 93 is enough, but if you want the 96, that option's there. For me, it's important. I would probably put some on the pass eventually, but that's on y'all. I'm a big passer at guard. I'm not a big, drop 50 and, my teammates eat when they eat. When I'm not eating type guard, I'm trying to get my teammates to eat first, which is kind of how I played this game. But again, you get up to 97 ball handle, that gives you some pretty good badges. But 96 is usually my goal. Get you out of the Hall of Fame stuff. And on this build, I would put all the cap breakers straight into steel to start off because you're gonna get the 67, 73. That gives you silver interceptor. The +5 gets you to 78, and then another 4 gets you 83, which gives you that silver glove. And then you can go 80. You can do the other +4 to get to 87. You just need 85 for the gold interceptor, which I think that's the most important part of this build is getting gold interceptor on it. But you can mess around with it. Maybe if you go 58 steel, you could use all your cap breakers and get right up to the 85. But I just started the 60 because I like having that bronze interceptor to start, so at least I have some type of animation help, because stealing this year is not the best. We all know every time you go for steal this year, it feels like you have a 95 steal, you get a lane steal, and it hits your hand and it goes someone else. You don't even pick up the ball. They're not sticky this year, so we need to make sure we're getting those animations. Again, you can upgrade your perimeter D on this build, but really, you're not going to be the rest of the rest of this lineup. I'll show you how this runs. But yeah, so that's how this build looks with the cap breakers and everything. So. Now we're going into this second build. I'm a little different with how I run my 2 guards. I know a lot of people like those pure on-ball locks at the 2 and then the hash lock at the 3. I like my two guard to be able to make buckets for himself and score. You know, if I can't, you can't always have PG doing everything, especially if you get into a crazy lineup of like six or like 3-6-8 locks or something. People gotta be able to create for themselves. It can't just be one creator and three spot ups. I don't play that way. I never have and never will. Um, I'm mostly a two guard, so this is a build that I would recommend everybody to use here. But I'm all about that 96 three ball here. But let me see. If I get it at 6'4", I would probably just do it that. I'm thinking, yeah, I'd probably run right about this. Again, I don't think you need that 96 driving dunk. Again, this is the same thing I'm gonna do with this build right now. To start, I'm gonna start at 88. Check out what I think after. We're gonna get this 3-point right up to a 93 because we need to be able to shoot off the spot. You know, that's what you gotta do. Get to the line. You gotta have some free throw number fives builds. You know what I mean? But again, with this build, I'll probably just go right here. Nice sweet spot. You know, I gotta get these badges up again. That's on me. 81 ball handle, 75 sweet ball. Just enough passing to like, you know, go 71. Just enough to, you know, hit the person on the hands, give a good shot, get out of some bad situations. But again, your job as the two in this kind of lineup is to just make shots for yourself and hit spot ups, you know, hit cuts. But again, you got to be able to make your own shots. You got to be able to make space for yourself a little bit. And the way I'm running this is with this kind of guard. He's not gonna be the on baller. He's gonna be the one sitting in the corner. So I run right here, Hall of Fame interceptor, 85 printer. I mean, he's gonna be on the hash more likely than not, I should say. But a lot of lane steals. You could use your attribute, you know, your cap breakers to get up to that 96 glove. You could even go up to 98 steal if you really wanted to go crazy with it. Maybe probably 99, honestly. So it's up to y'all, whatever whatever you want to do there. But I play really high speed and agility this year, especially with the way this game is. Yeah, we'll just go with that for now. I like a movable enforcer on my locks. So what I'm gonna do is get silver. I know you could probably get it to 8. We'll do that. We'll bump up the weight a little bit. We'll get to 85. We'll get that 85, and then right here, we're just gonna go straight for that 80 vertical. I'm not gonna go. There's some years, you know, some years I'll put block on my 2. You know, I'll get up to like 68 or, you know, but this year I just think it's all about everybody's big. You know, if you're six, you know, you're playing two guard, you're 6'5", 6'2", 6'4", 6'3", anything around there. You're not getting any chase down blocks. Everybody's too damn big. The way I would do this is I would even maybe think about bumping it up to 88 so we can get that 92 perimeter eventually. I mean, I'm cool with an 85 speed, but I like the 80, I like 88. That's like the sweet spot for me. But if you want to go a little slower and get that ball handle up to 86 to get that ankle assassin, you know, and maybe get that chance to even get an 87 ball handle, you know, get that handles for days. And then unpluckable gold, you could do that. You could use cap breakers. You could certainly use cap breakers to get your ball handle up. So this is the build I'd probably go with. I don't think speed of ball as a 2 this year is not that important either. So this is the build I would probably run. Put a couple of the last points, I guess, put it in the free throw and offensive rebound, right? But this is the build I would run at the 2. Definitely can create for itself. Can score from every level of the floor. Can pass a little bit so you're not getting jumbled up. You get caught in the corner, you can make a pass out of the corner. Great defense. I mean, you're not gonna get rebounds as the 2 anyways. You should never be crashing. You should be leaking. Honestly, you should always be leaking as the guards. Unless some weird situation happens, you're gonna have a back end on here. You're gonna have a 3 that can get boards, and you're gonna have a big that can get rebounds. This is the build I would run. Again, it gets that gold immovable enforcer. That's huge. It gets that Hall of Fame interceptor. You can boost this all the way up to a 99 if you wanted to. You can get crazy with this build. You know, you can go 92 perimeter D. You can get that 92 ball handle. You can get 96 3 ball, 93 dunk. My cap breakers, they're going right to driving dunk and then ball handle. Maybe I'll worry about that 96 3 ball later on. But this is that build. This is what it says it would be. John Starks, Eddie Jones, Kobe. Anything with Kobe, I'm cool with. You know, physical 2-way 3-point slasher. That's a nice 2. A nice 2. No big weaknesses to report. Can do everything on the court. Even the game can't deny that this build's tough as hell. I'll show you all the cap breakers on this one real quick. All right, so I'm back. Instead of starting in the city, I accidentally hit starting the career, and instead of going to the draft, I did out of bounds. So I had to dashboard and come all the way back in here. So in this build, again, with the cap breakers, I mean, you can get that 90, 91, 92, 93, 4 cap breakers. That's one of the first things I'm doing on this build. Is trying to get that, right? You can get that 96 three ball. That's up to you. If you want to do that, you can up your free throw. Some people, I know people this year have been crazy about free throws. I know that crazy free throw, that funny free throw animation is like a 90. You have like a 92 or something for it. But I think that's just for bigs. I haven't used it. I just put a free throw on. It's free throws are gonna go in. Again, you get that 92 ball handler. You could even get up to a 82 speed ball, but I don't see the point as a secondary ball handler. You could even up your pass if you want, but I wouldn't touch any of this stuff. Maybe the ball handle. Again, you can get up to 98 steals, so you can't get that 99 steal on this. So just be mindful of that. You'll have to mess around with something if you want that 99 steal. I don't go past 96. Maybe 98 would be fine. You get that red interceptor, but I just don't think you need red glove. Well, first two things I would do though is 92 perimeter D. You get that 93 drive and dunk. That makes this build unstoppable. You can put that speed up slowly if you like to do that. This build again, this can do everything. This is a great 2-guard. Really complements a PNR guard because if you're just playing those annoying double, triple, 6-8 lock lineups, they run pick and roll, but they got 3 spot ups and they're just annoying on when you're on the offense. You got another dude that can get out of the ball if you're on a weird double team, So that's a 2-guard I would run with this lineup. Again, this build can do everything. This is the second version of that lock that I would make. You can go 6-7 if you want, but I'll explain why I went 6-6 here in a second. Okay, so I'm gonna go into here, right? We got some stuff done. I realized this is why I was in the middle of making it. I realized we should go 6-6 for this reason, right? This is how I make my build right off rip. That's how my lock's gonna start out. You can do whatever you want. If you want to change it up, that's fine. That's not how I'm gonna do it. Because this is what I want my locks to have rebound. You need rebound, like I said. Perimeter D, steal, right, good. And you gotta have a movable enforcer. Problem with being 6'8" is you can't have red or purple movable enforcer and also get the 85 agility for Pick Dodger Hall of Fame. I give up the inch in height to get the badges. We all know that in this game, badges are more important than anything else. That's why we make builds. That's why we're looking up build videos. We want that perfect build. So now, I'm just putting this down for a second. Give me a minute. It's all messed up. You know how it is when you're making a new build. So the 85 3 ball, 75 speed or free throw is important. Need free throw. The reason we need 74 vertical is that high flying denier silver. Now this build can do it all. Right off rip, you could even go right like that if you want to do that. But I start like this. Okay, 90 speed. You get that 70 dunk. It's going to get up high enough. That won't be high enough for an 87. If you want the 87, you can go 88 speed. You can chuck these down a little bit. Just like that. And you can get the 78 dunk. That will get you to that 87 driving dunk if that's what you want. But you have to spend a cap breaker on vertical for 75. Because you won't get silver posterizer without 75 vertical. But the reason we're doing this, again, if you're 6'8", 6'7", you cannot get the 85 agility, 92 move. You can't even get 91 strength. You get the 85 agility. It doesn't work out that way. You need a movable enforcer. I think you also need Pick Dodger Hall of Fame. So this is how I'm gonna do this build. This is what I would do. Again, you have a little bit of ability to ball handle, especially later on with the cap breakers. Again, but the important thing to remember with this build, again, is you're the lock, right? You're not gonna be dribbling that much. It's a pick and roll. Your guard's gonna want the ball. He's gonna be picking and rolling, kicking out. He's gonna be slashing, running with the pick and pop, pick and roll, whatever with the big. And if he needs to get rid of the ball, which he doesn't want to, because those pick and roll guards, man, they like to have the ball. But of course, you probably know that since it's probably your boy. But he's gonna kick it to that 2-guard, right? And that 2-guard can create for itself. So if you want to create for yourself, again, go tell your boy, hey, you're on the lock this year. I want to dribble, But you can do it on this build eventually too. Again, just no playmaking, not really any finishing right now. But show you the cap breakers on this one. So the cap breakers on this lock. Go into it. Free ball's maxed out 85, but again, you get silver blinders or silver deadeye and bronze limitless. That's all you need. You can use your badge boosters if you want to get those up. Again, you get plus 10, so you get up to an 88 drive and dunk. That's fantastic on this build. You get the +2, you can get your vertical up if you want, but you only need 75, 87. So again, you know, you got to get the +5 on the dunk, but 78's plenty. 80 is good, gets a lot of animations, the aerial wizard unlocks. I'm right away, my cap breakers, they're going right to this. You can get up to 99 perimeter D, 99 steal if you want to on this build. It might not be the big lock that everybody thinks is so sexy and fancy, but you give up an inch or two and you get way better stats, way better badges, get a little faster. You unlock capabilities that other locks don't have, like the red immovable enforcer and then the Hall of Fame pick dodger, right? So you gotta think about that stuff. But this is the lock that I would run with this lineup. Again, you can get your ball handle up to took me a little long to do that math, but 85. But again, I would just go up to 81 if you can. So, you know, +8 that gets you to 76, 79, 82, good. Do the +3 once, you get 75 sweet ball, bang, there you go. Now you can ball handle too. There's a lot of cap breakers this year, so this will work for you. All right, so this is the back end. Unfortunately, this year, I usually run like a 6'8 power forward with my BE. But there's so many teams that are running double 7-footers, and it's just shot contests are so hard. You can't be getting caught out, caught lacking, getting mouthed. You got to be taller, so we're going to go with the 6'10. It's not going to have the best shooting. Maybe even go 6'9. That's probably what I would do. Gives you the ability to get that 85 steal. Again, you need rebound. So we're going to go with this. The back end 94 rebound. You don't need 99 rebound as a back end. You just don't need it. I just don't, you know what I mean? Like, you just need enough. You got to crash the boards. You need 94 to get the box outs and all that, but you don't need 99. I'm running the back end. I'm going right up, bang, right up to that 94. You could do 92 if you want, so we'll build it that way just to show you. On the speed, I'm going 80. On agility, I'm going right up to a 77. Strength, we'll just put it up to get, let's do it this way. So we'll go 74 perimeter D, right? That's enough. We go 85 steal. Need that. You need 85 steal. We need you to be able to play in the paint a little bit. So how we're going to run this is it's a little bit of a, you know, can do everything build. Need to get the boards. Need to get the boards. So 82 strength gets us that. We're going to run 83 just so you get those picks, you know, if you want to set some off balls. Or you got to, you know, you pick up on the pick and pop for the big or pick and roll depending on how it works out. Again, none of this. No playmaking on this build. And we're going to get that 3 ball right to 83. Again, you need some free throw. 75 is the minimum, I think, for 5s. But your job, really, you probably should run 82 to get that challenger. Maybe even 85 if you want to get the on-ball menace, but I like the 82. You know what? Let's do it because of how much I've been saying I like a movable enforcer. Let's just get it. We got a good little bit of a lock on this back end, right? So now he's fast, he's strength, he can do everything. We want him to be able to get into the paint. With that 80 vertical, he can get that 93 dunk, so we're gonna go to 88. That way that back end can slash. Because you know, I mean, you want to have a little bit of fun. You can throw lobs, do all that cool stuff. Because the big's gonna be able to do all that. Why not your back end? You know what I mean? So let's get that 94 rebound. And I'm gonna just put the offensive rebound at 82 just in case. Put that free throw up. Always put that free throw up over something else. So this is the back end I would go with. It's fast. It's got bunnies with a high board. Great on the ball. Great in lane steals. Great on chase downs. Great in help. Can shoot. Can slash. You don't need to make no shots for yourself. Not as a back end again. You don't need to do all that. Some people will go higher on the defense on the back end. I don't think you need it that high. But this is just my take on how I like to play a pick and roll style game. I like my players to be able to do a little bit of everything. It opens up a lot of space on the court. Two-way stretch dunking cleaner. I made this build before, and I had a little bit better of a name. I don't remember what it was, but this is a good one too. You do like the two-way stretch. 6'9" might be a little small for y'all if that's what you don't, you know, if you want to change that. But I like the speed. I like to be able to close out and keep up with the game. We'll go do the cap breakers here. Now this is the cap breakers for the back end. Now your rebound can go up no higher. So if you want a higher rebound, whatever, but you're gonna get the Hall of Fame, box out, gold rebound chaser. That's all you need. If you want to get to that 96, you can mess around and get worse shooting if you want, but I like my bigs be able to shoot a little bit better. 83 is good. You get good jumper options. You're gonna get that 93 real quick too, because you can get right up to a 92, 93, 94, 95. You can get a 96 dunk, and you can put that vertical up to an 85 if you really want to horse people. You got those cap breakers. Remember, that's another reason we do this. We want our cap breakers. Again, you're not gonna be playing inside D, especially in comp. Not gonna be many guys posting you up, and if they are, your big's gonna take them, right? So you got enough to do some, to deal with some weird stuff, but your big's gonna help you out. You got enough block. You got great steal, lane steals, good perimeter D. Again, I would put those cap breakers right into the dunk, the vertical, and then you can put that block up to an 88 if you want. You got the 87 perimeter D for off-ball pass Hall of Fame. I might even do that. Off-ball pass is great for the cutters. So I would actually probably put the first two in the perimeter D. Then I'd go worry about the dunk. And then the vertical. And then you're going to have a bunch of other ones. You can do whatever you want with it. That's the great thing about cap breakers. You can make your build however you want it. You could even add some passing, a little bit of ball handling, whatever. So this is the center I'm going to run. I know some people like the bigger centers and all that, but I like the 7-footers. I like the 7-footers this year. That's what I like to do. And I want my big to be able to shoot and slash and set screens for me, right? Now, some people can go crazy and make that crazy rebounding, but I like the 96. I think that's the sweet spot. This, I'll show you why. We'll get up to a 77 on the vertical. I do it this way because I'm going to get my cap breakers pretty quick. But if you want to get up to that 99 strength, you can go 95 or 94 to start for that Hall of Fame brick wall. We'll just go with that for now because that's what most of you are probably here for. It's a pick and roll, all in all, right? So go 65-50. Now we get, this is O board. I don't care what anybody says. Again, I don't care what anybody says. There's no difference between O board and D board. O board is cheaper. You can go right up to 96. I go 94. Saves me a little bit of points with cap breakers and the same thing. Same build. Just depends where you want to use your cap breakers. I'm all about getting the most out of my build. We got that 60 steal. And we want that immovable enforcer. Just a little bit. Now we're going to go get that 89 3 ball. We're going to get that 73 driving dunk and that 90 standing dunk. This is going to get you a lot of work in the paint. Now you could go crazy. You can put that pass back up. But again, as a pick and roll, you don't, unless you like to run that fast break. But again, this is a different kind of concept. My pick and rolls, we reset right away. We run a slow offense. So that's why I do this. Put a little bit in that free throw. Now this build, again, can do damn near everything. If you want to get a little bit more bunnies in, you can put that 80 vertical, because then you could eventually get this 88 block, or you can just put it up now. And then put a little bit in a defensive rebound. If you want to wait for the cap breakers and do this, you could do that, but I like it this way. I think this is the best way to make this big for the lineup it's running with. Bump that agility up one. And this is the pick and roll God squad, I think. I think this team is so hard to keep up with. If your team's big, you're gonna be slow. You're gonna be slow. This big can catch lobs. He's faster than most of the other bigs. He's bigger and stronger than the locks. He's getting the boards. He can do everything. Show you the cap breakers on him.
Okay, I don't need yes men right now. I need you to be honest. Actually, I'm trying to go hoop in the city for a little bit. But hey.
So now here we are for the pick and roll 5. Again, he can shoot. He can do everything in the paint, right? He can catch lobs, and he can stand and dunk, put it back. I put the offensive board because I think that's big. Off the pick and roll, especially if you're shooting, that big's crashing. Your bigs ain't getting back in transition anyways. Let him crash the board every time. You got that good interior D in case you get a weirdo on you. You got that vertical. Now with the cap breakers, you can get up to that 93 interior D if you want that. 93 block. You can get the 85 rebound on defense if you really care. But my first thing I'm putting first 2 in is offensive rebound right away. 96, get it there. You can get that 99 strength too. If you really want to pass that, you can make this build different, but that's just not how I play the pick and roll. I have a whole different concept video that's going to come out for a team with a high pass act big. Again, I mean, you can have a lot of options. You get that 95 standard dunk if you want that. You can get your post control up if you like to play that way too. You get up to an 83 dunk. You just really need an 80 if you want to, you can get the 80. I like the 80. That's what I would go for. Has enough to get steals. Has a movable enforcer. And there you have it. So again, here you have it. This is that pick and roll 5 lineup that I like to run. It's a little bit small ball, but everybody's so big this year, man. The speed isn't bad, and the contest system's broken, so it doesn't matter if people are that much taller than you. It really doesn't. If you know how to get your shots up, you're gonna get your shots up. Especially if you're taking advantage of that tempo right stick shooting, because you know no one's contesting that. So again, this is what it is. This is what I like to run. We got a 7-footer, 6'9", 6'6", 2 6'3s. I mean, this lineup can score, and this lineup can play D. It can get boards. It's just such a good lineup to play in this game. I think this year this lineup will kill. I've had some experience in the pick and roll and small ball pick and roll lineups, and it just seems like teams have so much trouble keeping up off of switches, especially if you know how to set off balls with the back end and get that off ball movement. It's gonna be the best lineup you could run, I think. I'm sure people have arguments for that, but it's personal preference. But there you go. Thanks for watching.